Driving from Glasgow every day to Perth can be a lonely experience. So we put together a car school. Car school is so important because it gets the boys all together and it gives you a bit of company on the road. So in my car school we've got Brian Easton, Brian Graham, Gary Miller and Mikey Haren. So it's about time we found out what everybody thinks of each other in the car school and who and what they do in the morning when they went to training. So first up we've got Mikey Haren. So Mikey, got a few questions for you here. First one up, as part of the car school, punctuality is important. So who's always late for the car school in the mornings?
Well, me and you are always in time, to be fair, so I think Gary Miller and Big Brian only lives round the corner, so he's there. Gary Miller, not the best, but Brian Easton, I don't know what he does at night times, but he's always never in time, always late, so Easty for that one.
So next up under the microscope we've got right back Gary Miller. Gaz is one of the most experienced members in the car school right now. He's been travelling with me for a few seasons now, so we'll get to know what he thinks of his car school mates. So Gaz, first question, being in the car school, punctuality is very important. Who would you say is always late for the car school?
Probably Brian Easton. He goes golfing a lot in the mornings and stuff, so usually turns up late and then decides to go for a coffee and adds about 15 minutes onto the journey on top of that, and then likes to sit in the back and moan if you try and go for a sleep or that, so Eastie's punctuality isn't the best.
Next up in the driving seat is my good friend Brian Easton here, you know, left back, extraordinaire, son of Tommy, but an all-round good guy, you know, and we're going to find out what we here thinks of the Glasgow car school. So Brian, first up for you, punctuality. Who would you say is always late for the car school?
The worst. I hope nobody said me because I'm normally alright, apart from a few times. I say Gary Miller. Always seems well waiting for him. He's been left behind a couple of times because this man right here and Brian Graham don't really like waiting for anyone. So I think as a car school we're probably not great, but I say Gary Miller the worst.
Okay.
Right, so we're going to flip it back over on Midgie, aka Mr. Money, otherwise known as Sexy Dad to some people, I think. So anyway, Midgie, punctuality. Who's always late in the morning for the car school?
Well, there's a couple. I'm always there first, guaranteed. But I'm there first all the time. But I have to say, big man, has to be you. We're always sitting waiting. I don't know what time you get up in the morning, but I think you roll out of bed, pull on the thing, first thing you see, and jump in your car. And the only time I get a murmur at your morning is when I give you your coffee, which I've bought. So I would have to say Brian Easton. In the morning there is a wee coffee school. I know you're not a partaker in that, but who would you say never buys the coffees in the morning?
Well, I used to get the coffees because I didn't drive, that was part of the deal, but I think me getting them for a while, I think I've took a back seat now and they kind of take turns each, but I've yet to see Big Brian ever been in the McDonald's, ever buying empty at a let alone anything, never. But to be fair, I've got his breakfast as well, a hot chocolate or a roll and sausage or that, but Big Brian, I've never seen him come with anything for the lads. But
Probably myself. Sometimes I'm not the best on punctuality either, so I'm usually late. I do get them occasionally, but I would say Brian Easton doesn't buy them because he doesn't have to pay for them, so he's the sneakiest big guy as well.
So are you saying he gets them for free? Why does he get them for free?
He's a bit of a star at McDonald's in there, I think they all know him, so he doesn't have to pay for them, and he's signing leaflets and boots and anything they want really, and he gets free coffee for it.
Well, there's only really three of us drink it. I know me and Gaz are always in our pockets getting the coffees. You shy away sometimes, but Brian and Mikey don't really treat us to anything, but I think that's only because you're a nightmare once that caffeine hits you and you get all hyperactive.
Rumour has it that you get them for free. Why is that?
I don't know. I think the woman at McDonald's might have take a shine to me and Chrissy, so we sometimes get a few free ones.
Brian Graham, I don't think he's ever bought us a coffee, ever. And alright, he might not drink coffee and stuff, but if we buy juices or that at Stirling or Perth, we always go in the garden. I don't know what it is with Big Brian. I think he's got his pockets sewn or something like that. He never puts his hand in his pocket, so I would definitely have to say Brian Graham.
I think so. That's a good answer.
Who is most likely to sleep in for training in the mornings?
I don't want to become for Easty a lot, but I'd probably have to say Easty again. He's so laid back, and I don't know how he makes it most mornings, to be honest. So Brian Easton again for that.
Probably Brian Easton. He likes to just text you at 9:10 and say I'll get you up there, probably because he's just woke up, so it's probably him again. Or Mikey usually texts 5 minutes after you're meant to be meeting and says what time are we meeting, so it's probably between them, but I'd mainly say probably Brian Easton.
Mikey Haren, and he's most likely to be asleep for the whole journey there and the whole journey back. He likes his naps. He's even talked about a business idea. I don't know if I should be telling this, but he's got a wee business idea where you go have shops everywhere where people can just go in and take a nap. So that's the sort of things that he thinks about. So, aye, Mikey.
It was an app for you could have an actual app that.
I'm sure he's came up with some sort of app on your phone where, I don't know, it probably tells you when you should be taking a nap or whatever. He does. He likes his sleep, and aye, so I think he's probably most likely to sleep in.
Mikey Haren likes to sleep. There's a few times when he comes back about 10 minutes from Moodiesburn towards Bishop Briggs where we get picked up, and he's known to just give us a wee text and gives a heads up and tell us that I'll just get us up there. But again, Brian Easton loves his bed. The guy just is the most chilled, laid back guy I ever met in my life, and he loves his bed. So, you know, Easty, I think that's you again, mate.
So a tie there with me, Mikey, actually.
Some people are morning people, some people aren't, but who would you say is the most annoying in the morning?
I'm going to have to say you for that. It's like he takes a bundle of energy in the morning. I don't know how he does it. Like sometimes I'm wanting to sleep in the way up, so before training. Easty obviously. Well, in fact, no, Easty doesn't sleep. I don't know where he gets his energy, but you, I'd have to say you're the biggest pest in the mornings.
Yeah, loudest is definitely you in the mornings, but grumpy. Mikey likes to go to sleep probably in the morning and the afternoon when you're driving, so probably Mikey.
Hands down, that goes to you. Chris Millar, so hyperactive in the mornings, and I don't think I'm grumpy in the mornings, but I don't need you in my ear. I think grumpy goes to, I'd say Brian Graham, but he's grumpy all the time, so but definitely in the mornings he gets a wee bit of road rage, but hyperactive. Nobody beats you that I've ever met in my life.
I would say it's me. I just, once I get that coffee in me in the morning, I'm a bit hyper. I know it does you nothing. I think one of the times in Portugal, when me and Big Easty were in Portugal on a wee trip, and in the mornings, one of the days I was buzzing to get up, and he says to me, "Don't you come and knock at my door until 10:30 the next day." Sure enough, 10:30 and they're knocking at the door. I'm there waking him up, and he turns and looks at his watch and goes, "I did say 10:30." So I would have to say in the mornings I'm definitely the most annoying person.
I don't think I could even get mad at that time, but I was still pretty raging, so I'll let you be with it.
You know, travelling up, you know, it's quite a long journey. The feet can get sore, the limbs can get sore. Who's always fighting for that front seat?
To be fair, we had a rota, but the rota went out the window when Big Brian came in, because no matter whose car it is, Big Brian, he's always there first, and he always seems to be in the front seat. We used to bother us, but now we just take a back seat and let him have it, or he'll moan. So Big Brian's always in the front seat.
Easty likes to sit in the front all the time. He likes to sit there. I like to sit in the front myself. Mikey never really bothers, but he tries to drive most of the time, so probably me and Easty are grumpiest.
Not because of any his co-driving skills, but I think just because of his selfishness. Big Brian Graham, he's ready to pounce in that front seat wherever the driver of the week arrives, and he's always there. So aye, Big Brian.
Brian Graham, without a doubt. I think the guy thinks he's about 8 foot tall. He's actually sitting in the back when he's sitting in the front. He pushes his seat that far back. No matter what, he fights for that front seat every single time. And there was a rota until Brian Graham got involved, but now the rota is Brian Graham's in the front all the time, so definitely Brian Graham. Who would you say has got the worst taste in music?
It's a good one, that, isn't it? Well, normally we've not really got the music on a lot, and we're usually conversing, so that's quite a hard one, that. I'd say we've all got a decent sort of taste in music, to be fair, but most of the time we're conversing, so we've not really got the music on. To be fair, I think I've usually going to come for me in that when I put Radio 1 on the Friday, to be fair, but I think we usually go to say me, so we'll say me then, right, there we go.
Probably Mikey just puts on whatever he thinks he's from a different country, I think, so he'll probably moan at me for talking about him, but probably Mikey likes to put on R&B, hip hop, and then whatever else. Then he'll start singing a bit of pop culture and Mariah Carey. So probably Mikey's got the most indifferent musical sense.
There's two extremes. I think Brian Graham's always got the smooth radio and all the old classics. I think that's just to mellow him out a wee bit, but it doesn't seem to work too well. But so that's pretty bad. I think Mikey goes the other end. He's got his hip hop and his reggae stuff, so I think he quite enjoys that, but I don't mind that stuff, so I'd say Brian, just because it could put you to sleep. You know.
I think there's a couple of candidates here. Big Brian Graham has stuck my time up, smooth radio every day, 60s, 70s, sometimes you walk it, you're just depressed, you don't want to get in the train, it's that boring. But Mikey Haren's taste isn't the best either, you know. Right into his R&B. I think he thinks he's a bit of a gangster at times, you know, even though he's a bit of a mummy's boy, really. So I think that's maybe just to put that facade on with listens to the kind of gangster music, so I'd have to say it's definitely one of those two. And last one, obviously being in a car school, who is the worst driver?
Well, I've just passed, so I'm definitely up there, but to be fair, I'll give it to Midgie. He's the best driver, because he put us at a hole once. Well, I thank my stars, I thank myself lucky to be here on planet Earth at this moment in time. If Midgie's driving skills wouldn't have got us out of that mess, but as I'm just past, the boys have got a lot of experience on me, so I'll probably say I'm the worst driver to give us a scare for now and then. So
brilliant, cheers Mikey, thanks for that.
Well, he's got better now, but the first week or two Mikey was a bit dangerous, taking roundabouts and cutting people up and taking about an hour and a half to get to training when it should only take about 50 minutes. But he's got much better, so he's probably most improved. Most dangerous, probably myself most of the time. I like a bit of danger, so probably me.
Cheers guys, mate, thanks for your loadout. Who would you say is the worst driver?
I'd have to say Mikey Haren. He's just he's not been driving as long as the rest is, but I can remember when I first passed my test and I knew I was a lot better than him. There's been a fair few times where we've had to, grip hold or something and we white knuckle ride up, but I don't think he realises it either, so no, it's definitely Mikey's. He's pretty poor.
Cheers, Stock, thanks mate.
Cheers, Mikey.
Mikey Haren, without a doubt. When he passed his test, it was actually, we were scared for our lives a few times driving up there. It was like everybody's belting up, holding on each other, saying your prayers and texting your loved ones saying I might not make it back today. So he's got better, but he's still. I remember when I first passed and I was never as bad as Mikey Haren, so it has to be Mikey.
Right, thank you Christopher. And that's it from me and Roscoe, thanks very much. I'll hand you back to Chris.